Ferris. I'm the Sergeant at Arms of the UK chapter. Been in about 3 years, I think.
Yep, 3 years. Yep, one of our very first members. What else? And he is the enthusiasm and the youth of the Cadillac Kings UK. And everybody hates the bastard.
Especially my wife.
Oh, God. And then me, I'm Kevin House, I'm the president. First met the Kings in about 2010, went to one of the all-chapter barbecues as a guest. One of the other members, stayed in touch with him ever since. And then, I don't know, 4 years ago?
Yep.
4 years ago, First Lady Lynda here and me went for an interview, set the Cadillac Kings UK up, and yeah, this is us. And then the First Lady Lynda.
Hi, yeah, I'm Lynda. I'm the treasurer. Met Kevin about 8 years ago, and he sold me a Cadillac. And 4 years ago, we went over to America, and first time I met all the Kings over there, and we set the UK chapter together, didn't we?
We did. Yeah.
And I'm James, the VP from the southwest of England. Been in the Kings for 3 years now.
Yep.
And I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. Best times ever.
I got into Cadillacs as a kid. Like when I was about 10, my mum and dad took me to see the Buddy Holly story, and I think ever since then I loved them. I thought I'd been priced out of 60s Cadillacs, and about 4 years ago, found one for a good price, 63 Sedan DeVille. I bought that, and that's when Kev got in touch with me. And yeah, had them. Well, I say it's only 4 years. I've had them ever since. I've had two. I think I'm the pup of the group in relation to how many Cadillacs I've had by quite a lot.
Well, I bought my first Cadillac when I was 19, 1965 Coupe de Ville.
It was new.
No, it wasn't. And I'm 60 now, and I reckon I've been without a Cadillac for probably 6 months of that entire time between me being 19 and 60. I own a 60 Cadillac Sedan DeVille, and I've got half shares in a 1951 with First Lady Lynda. I've had 56, 57, 58, 59, and 60 Cadillac, and several more I can't remember. But yeah, it's a disease, and I got it bad.
Well, I've always had English classic cars until I met Kevin in 2013 when he changed me over to the dark side. He originally tried to sell me an Eldorado, which I absolutely hated. But outside his unit was a 67 Coupe de Ville, which I bought about a month later, well, about 8 years today, actually. And ever since then, I've been driving Cadillacs.
Mine started, I've had several American cars, and I had a big illness a few years ago, and it sort of big change in my life, and I thought, right, what car do I want? I want a Cadillac, and everything else went to one side, and I did everything I could. I bought my first 65 from Southern California, imported it, and loved that car. Then Shopzilla came up in California, and I always loved the car. I always saw it online, and it came up at the right price, so I sold the 65 and bought it, imported it over, and just been working on it ever since at Kev's, which is the other side of the country. It's getting there finished now, and I absolutely love it, love driving it. But that side, that's just one part of it. The other side is the camaraderie. The guys I've met within the club is just fantastic. I did literally a brotherhood.
Yeah. Yes, it's Kev 60. It's hard to narrow it down to one. I've got a 66 Fleetwood at the minute, and I love that. I drive it. If I could fit it into work, I'd drive it as my daily drive every day. Absolutely love it. But yeah, the 60 flat top sedans I love. The mid 50s, I'd get a coupe, like 55, 56 coupe if I could. I mean, I'd get another 63 if at a drop of a hat as well. I fell in love with that.
You just love them all.
Yeah. Anything from 51 to 70, and even and beyond that, I'd have every model if I could. But yeah, I think the 60 flat top is the dream at the minute.
And mine is a 60 flat top that James wants but can't have. But yeah, they're all good. I love them all really, but yeah, especially the 60 flat top. And yeah, I actually own my dream car with my dream girl. Edit that bit.
I'm going to be really boring and say my favourite is my car that I've got, my 67. I absolutely love it. It's my happy place. Me and my son, we go everywhere in it. We use it for camping, holidays, put the dogs in, and we just pile everything in and off we go, and we just drive down the road with big smiles on our faces because I absolutely love it.
And mine, even though it sucks because they both said it, mine's a 60 flat top as well. I absolutely love it. I know. Look,
I can smell money.
this is too nice for me. I love patina, old school, like stick your beer on it, drive it hard. I just love that style. And ideally with an LS. But that's my style. I love it.
You know, I forgot the 60 Eldorado Brome as well. That'd be a dream.
Well, yeah.
If one ever came up.
It's quite normal for me. My family going back to 1900 and something started with a push bike shop, went to a motorbike shop. My dad had a motorbike shop and I grew up in a garage. So I've always been around motorbikes and cars and basically men.
Oh yeah, mucky bugger.
So it's quite normal, really. I think they accept me, although some of them are frightened of me, apparently, over here.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I do tend to keep everyone on order if I can, but no, it's fine. I think they forget I'm a girl most of the time. And the same over when we've been over to the States. I've been over now 4 years, probably, have we been over with the Kings. Met some of the Dolores, real good friends with Dolores. Met them all there, and they all just treat you as the same, really, as an equal.
I would in a heartbeat. I would absolutely turn my 66 into an electric if I could afford it. But it's about $50,000, £30,000. There's I looked into a motor you can get. It's called the Revolt, and it's like 800 horsepower. I think 800 horsepower, and there's like fuel over here is crazy money. I mean, we're up to what, $10 a gallon. It's cost me £100 to get here today, so $160. So yeah, to be able to use a Cadillac at every opportunity and not have to worry about fuel, I'd go electric. Probably hated for that. I just heard, actually. I think I just heard it get more angry.
No, I agree. I love my engine. I absolutely love a V8. But when I've been in an electric car and seen how they perform, and I just think it's cool. And it is the future. And yeah, I would consider it. But it's down to cost. So.
And I definitely would not.
And I wouldn't either.
The thing is, you guys are lucky over there because your weather is reasonably stable, whereas over here, it's pissing down the rain 1 minute, sun's coming out the next. You can't plan anything because the chances are it's going to rain. So for me, my Cadillac or our Cadillacs don't come out that often. So I would justify the fuel cost for how little we use it. If I used it every day, I would still not go electric and just be skinny.
It was the Buddy Holly stuff, like going to the Buddy Holly story, and I even don't think they had a Cadillac. There was one in the show, but they're an iconic car. Like, even as a kid growing up in England, where Cadillac were never sold, like it meant something, that name. Like it just meant quality, and the cars were beautiful. And like, especially the 50s and 60s, like the car design, it was a really optimistic time, and yeah, it was just, I can never not remember knowing about Cadillac and aspiring to Cadillac.
I don't know. I can't answer that question. I've always loved them. I can't remember what the first time I ever looked at a Cadillac and thought, I'm going to own one of those one day. I don't know. It's just the ultimate name in cars, I think. And we're lucky enough to own them and be in a club that loves them. That's it.
Well, when did I? Probably when I met Cadillac Kev.
I am Cadillac Kev.
This is Cadillac Kev. That was probably, I'd seen them in car shows, but
You were besotted by me and then looked at my car and thought, I need to follow that guy.
I think it was the car actually.
Well, you looked at the car and thought, God, have I got to shag that guy to get that car?
It's funny how Rico got
No, I fell in love with I saw the Cadillac outside Kevin's unit, and then he wanted it taken to a car show, and you had 2 or 3 cars that you were taking down to Trinity Park at Ipswich, and he had no one to drive the 67. So I said, well, I'll do it. I'll take it. But before you can drive any of Kevin's cars, you have to do the Kevin House road test, which involves going down the smallest track lanes to make sure that you can drive this massive car on the wrong side of the road in England, which I did, and I passed.
You did pass.
And I took the car with my daughter down to the car show, and that was it. We both just fell in love with it and had to have it. So I then had to negotiate it from you, and I've loved them ever since. And we bought the 60 together, didn't we, in America last time we went out, and 51, and your hearse that you had, we used to have quite a lot of fun with as well. So ever since then, I've been converted over.
And for me, it was 60s, 70s TV, American TV. You see the big cars, and when I was a kid, they were just amazing. And as you get older and then start going to car shows, and I've just always loved American cars. But you'll say, who's the guy over there? And he's the guy with a Cadillac. And like, oh, that's the cool guy. And they're just such cool cars. And especially for me initially, it was 65, 66, because that body line, that flat body line with no kick-ups, and they're just, for here in the UK, they're just such huge cars. And everyone just goes, wow, when they look at them. And even I do now. And just the body style for the 60s for me is just the ultimate. And the fact it's a Cadillac. Oh, yeah. It's the cool shit.
Nice.
I think as well, like everything in music and TV, like it doesn't matter what era you're from. If it was 50s and 60s rock and roll, it was Cadillacs. If it was 90s hip hop, it was Cadillacs. Like everything has always been Cadillac. Like Coupe de Ville's always meant something, even to people that have grown up in a country they were never sold.
We won't use the L word because we don't talk about
it.
Yeah. Well, I always try and keep in touch with all the guys anyway, through Messenger and phoning them up and stuff. And there's only 24 members of the UK, and they're all we all handpick each other. So we're all good guys, and we all know each other really, really well. And it's just a case of just keeping in contact with everyone. Obviously, we couldn't meet anybody, but we certainly, kept in touch verbally. And we're a bit different to the normal car clubs that we have in the UK, because they have like 300 members who you never ever see, never ever meet, don't know what they drive or what their name is. And I dare say that they just fell apart and stuff, whereas we just probably glued together a bit more, really.
Yeah.
And if anyone was in trouble, we help each other out. We are a real family. That sounds really corny, but that's how we are. And we got through it. And the first chance we got to have a meet, we did that with one of our other members who can't be here today, but and now we've pulled this one off with Phil Barry. And we're back with a vengeance. And I mean, Rippo's James here has had his car at our workshop for too long.
Yeah.
So
18 months.
Yeah.
So the other side of the country.
Yeah. So James is about 5.5 hours away from us. So he would come over and stay for the weekend, and I'd take time out and we'd do some work on his car every time that the restrictions allowed us to do that. And we've got through it quite well, I think. But that is because of who we are and what we feel about each other, I guess, if I don't sound too corny.
For me, I was at no point where I could fall apart, because as Kev said, we're mates more like we're family more than it's not just about the cars for us. So I mean, I don't think there's a day goes by that we're not in contact with each other. We've got like a group messaging and stuff. So yeah, there's constant conversations going on between everyone. I was gutted when it happened, partly because I got my car on the road about 2 weeks after lockdown came in. So it arrived. I mean, it took, 6, 7, 8 months for me, because I bought it in California as well, brought it over, thanks to Kev and Dolores actually on that. And yeah, it arrived literally. Lockdown came in here March 23rd, and I got it on the end of March. And so it was gutting not being able to take it anywhere, but just having it, doing work on it, and keeping in touch with the guys and girls was kept me going at least. I mean, lockdown was hard, real hard, but yeah, we all kind of got each other through it. It was getting the car was a headache, should we say? From even before lockdown, there were so many issues. So the guy I bought it off was troublesome. The car was troublesome. Like, just anything that could have gone wrong, bringing a car over went wrong. So, like I say, what should have taken 3 weeks took like 8 months. But that was before lockdown. That was just other issues. Yeah, and then being in the UK, I think had those issues come up when I was a US citizen, probably would have been issues. Like, I needed to get the car retiled. That becomes difficult when you own a car that you're not a resident of the country it's in. Yeah, and so, but to be fair, getting parts.
Parts over was hard.
Yeah, yes, that slowed down.
To get things over.
Yeah,
during lockdown,
it was. Yeah, it just slowed everything down.
It had a big impact on us, because just before the week they locked us down, we were due to come out to America to get married, and we were going to be at the All Chapter Barbecue with the Kings in Las Vegas on the Saturday.
Yeah.
Getting married on the Saturday and then going to the All Chapter Barbecue on the Sunday, so that we were all packed and ready to come out. And about 2 weeks before it all stopped. So, but everyone here was really good. They all sort of rallied round, didn't they? The boys have got their WhatsApp chat group that I'm on, that I keep an eye on.
Yeah.
So we all communicate daily, really, didn't we? Throughout lockdown on that, there was lots of chat going on, and we phoned people up, and we did some Zoom calls as well to try and talk to people to make sure everyone was in contact with everyone. I actually lost my dad to COVID, and all the guys really rallied round when that happened. Couldn't have been any better than some of the family actually.
Yeah, the Kings are closer than some of our closest family members in real life.
Definitely.
The only downside to the whole thing was I couldn't go and work on my car at Kev's. But the positive was I just got so much time to spend with my family, which I've never done throughout my working life. I've always just been out of the house first thing in the morning, back at night, don't see my family. So for me, it was just bliss to spend that much time at home. But like I said, the downside was not working on my Cadillac.
But you did actually find out that you were married and you had a wife.
Yeah.
I think there was a bit of political stuff sometimes sort of leaked onto some of the pages, but we all got our political views, and the best thing to do is just kind of forget what one of your fellow Kings political beliefs were, and just ignored that, and just kind of kept to the non-political stuff to keep it all together. I mean, I'm sure there's members of the Kings in California and even here in this country that I completely disagree with politically, but you just have to ignore it and just stick to what we are, and hope we all get through it, really, I think.
Yeah, we respect each other's views on that sort of thing, and the fact at the end of the day, we're just people finding our way through the world, but enjoying Cadillacs, and we respect each other's views, and that doesn't become an issue at all between any of us. Never has done.
No, I think that if that did, then they're not really true Kings.
That's included.
Yeah, I think we do kind of. That's a tricky one, really, but we are part of it, but we are removed as such because we have different problems to the California. I mean, personally, I hate the Californians because they get the sun and they can plan things and everything just goes normal, and we plan something and the rain god comes out and turn everything to rat shit. So for me, there's a bit of light-hearted resentment, shall we say, to the Californian guys, because they've got it good and they don't realise exactly what we in the UK are up against. You know, it's really difficult to organise stuff. You know, gas prices are just through the roof, and to actually get a meeting together is really tricky. And
the distance as well, isn't it? Where everybody
we're so, you know, we're so far apart. I mean, we've travelled up to this barbecue today 5.5 hours. You know, and when James come down to see us, 5.5 hours. And we've actually got a member here today who's 8 hours. Ashley is travelled like 8 hours. You know, so the dedication is unbelievable. You know, and I don't think the guys in California quite understand what we have to go through to pull off what they can do with ease on the next vlog. You know.
Even on the drive here, I count at least 12 times in driving that people were filming me driving past, because you just don't see them here. Probably loved it.
I think we haven't missed a barbecue, have we? Apart from the COVID era, you know, we go, and I think the Kings kind of move their barbecue dates around us, because we go to Viva Las Vegas, the Rockabilly weekend. So usually the barbecue is the week before or week after that, so we can kind of do a 2.5 week holiday and do the Kings and do Viva Las Vegas and have a trip around California as well, which is good.
So for me, it's find the car, then ask Kev.
I think you'll answer that one, because we just go to you all the time.
Well, basically, you buy your car from California. You then have to get it shipped to the docks. You can't drive it yourself, because as a tourist in the country, we're only allowed to drive your hire vehicles. So we have to pay a shipper to get it from the seller to the shipping agent. That has to go, the VIN number's got to be checked. It's got to marry up with the title. You need a bill of sale. And then onto the boat. Six weeks later, it arrives in the UK. We then are allowed to drive it from the docks to a MOT testing station. Every car in the UK has got to have an MOT test. So into the MOT testing station, and everything's got to be checked. Everything's got to be working. All the lights, the brakes, no rust. Yeah, and then basically send all the documentation off once that's been cleared through our customs system, and then wait for, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 weeks for the paperwork to come to allow you to get a license plate, and off we go. You know, it's quite a drawn out process, and it costs about £1,750. Yeah. $2,500 to get a caddy from A to B and pay our customs at this end.
So that's $2,500 on top of whatever you're paying. That was just import fees, right? And paperwork on the UK
no,
side.
That's to physically get the car from A to B on the sea as well.
Okay. And then
Sorry.
Sorry.
I bought my 65 pre-Cadillac Kings. It's okay if you know someone in the States and maybe someone can look at the car, but I was just going completely blind. I found it on Craigslist, which we don't have in the UK. I heard all sorts of stories about Craigslist, so I got in touch with the guy and phone calls and pictures and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, you just got to go with your gut and wing it. And I ended up sending the money to the guy, and I could have been shafted, but so luck would have it, the car arrived, it was great, and it did go smoothly, but it can be a bit scary.
Yeah, for me with my 66, Dolores really helped out. So she met the car, she checked it over. So I sent the money to Dolores, and she only sent the money to the seller once she checked it and was happy with it. So yeah, like, again, the king, being a king there helped. Well, I wouldn't have had the car if I wasn't a king, because Kev told me about it, and then Dolores sorted out US side for me.
Really think we're trying to get anywhere further than where we are now, really. I mean, we've got, as I said, 24, 25 really, really, really good members. And and I don't know how many more really good potential members there are left that we would want in the group. You know, we're a good bunch, and I dare say, if, you know, some other real good people turned up, we would have them in the group. But generally, I think if we can carry on as we are, and hopefully get a few more shows under our belt next year, and potentially the end of this year, then we're good to go.
I think it's about getting the people together, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
we're so split around the country. We've even got someone in Ireland as well, haven't we now?
Yeah.
It's trying to plan meets so as many people as possible can be there, and have it in different parts of the country so everyone gets to meet up and nobody feels left out, because that is a real problem because of the distance that everyone has to travel.
Okay.
I think Kev said it before as well. Like with the Kings, we don't want to just it's not just getting numbers; it's about getting the right people. And I think so. We're not, as you said before, it's not a case of looking to expand the Kings. It's about letting the right people come to us.
Personally, I'd like to visit more overseas Kings. I'd love to go to the States and even farther on the hill, Denmark, Sweden. I'd love to visit those guys, which we're kind of loosely planning to next year.
Well, they were invited. We did invite the European Kings to come to this barbecue today, but unfortunately, they've got restrictions. I think Finland's in lockdown, and so we were going to get a couple of the French guys turn up and a couple from Finland, but they just physically can't make it because of, you know, their country's rules and stuff. So yeah.
For me, I get a kick out of seeing new chapters. I love it when you see new chapters pop up. I like that expansion. I think it's brilliant. Yeah.
I think as long as the quality of the members is maintained, I think they'll be good. But, you know, as I said to you before, we've got a few American car clubs in England, and there's 300, 400, 500 members, but they never see each other, never meet up, and don't speak to each other. And I would hate to see the Kings get that big just because they want X amount of numbers. I think, you know, we need to keep a lid on it because they're special.
Anyone else have something to say with that, or no? Pretty much same thing.
I
Can you repeat the question?
I don't think so, because I think with regards to Cadillacs, you're going to reach saturation in most countries outside of America, especially California, because there's just not that many out there. And some people aren't into car clubs, and some people are just obnoxious asses who you wouldn't want to hang around with anyway. So you're always going to get a level of saturation. So I don't think there's any issues with regards of it getting too big.
I think as well, like with like putting numbers on stuff is quite arbitrary, because as Kev said, it's about the people, the quality of people. You could have one chapter that's full of idiots and that ruins a club, or you can have 100 chapters that are full of decent people and it's a good club. We as Kev has mentioned, there's another Cadillac Owners Club of United Kingdom is our we consider our rivals, but it's not, because they're a different type of person. Like,
we got the love.
Yeah, it's kind of a joke in the UK Kings. If what we're doing is pissing off the Cadillac Owners Club of Great Britain, then we're doing something right, because the type of people they are.
Oh, so you like being a little bit of the rebel side of things.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen his car?
Okay.
Have you seen Chopzilla, Anthony?
No.
You need to look it up just to see what our standard is of originality and you know, concourse cars and stuff. Look up.
So driver wear a World War II helmet.
Yeah. But I mean, when you go to car shows, you do see some absolutely amazing Cadillacs on the show field, but you won't want them in the club because they're not Cadillac Kings material. You know, so you can walk past their car and go, "Ooh, what a lovely car," but you just keep walking. You know, and I don't know. I won't want to see loads and loads of Cadillac King chapters everywhere and completely full of shit.
Family. Is there any other word that works?
No, that worked for me.
And me. That's exactly what I was going to say,
Yeah,
family.
I can't say anything more than that. There's been obviously issues because life's life, and we've had members of the club that have had like physical problems, with severe problems with family members, illnesses. You know, some mental health issues, but nothing major. But just, you know, some people get down occasionally, and someone will say so and so's not feeling it, he's not having a good time, and you'll get about 3 or 4 phone calls, and it's just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. You know, someone's always there when you need them, and I could ring these guys up 24/7, and they'd be there in a heartbeat and always glad to talk to me. It's great.
Yeah.
It really is.
I mean, we got one of our members. He's losing his wife to cancer, and we met her, and she said to us that she was so glad that this king had met us, because he's going to need us when she's not there. And she was convinced that we would, you know, and we will be there when the day comes, you know. And things like that, you're not going to get that from the Cadillac Kings car, not the Cadillac Owners Club UK. You're going to get that from the Kings, you know. And we're really sincere like that, you know. And I think the day is going to come where we are going to have to be there for him and anyone else who's got similar problems, you know. And that's where we're at, really. And we're going to be moving house soon, and I'm expecting all these guys to come along with their Cadillacs and move all our stuff over for us.
And free cake.
And free cake, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the UK chapter being obsessed with cake?
No, this is the first. If you want it.
The UK Kings revolve around, well, sometimes Cadillacs, but mainly cake. And everywhere we go, there is cake. First Lady Lynda is known for her world-famed, locally made cherry cake. I think there must be at least three cakes on site at this barbecue today that people have made and brought in. And cake and a nice cup of tea. And that's a kind of a UK Kings kind of a sort of little trademark.
And cider.
And cider.
There you go.
And all full members' names have to end with an O. So we've got Ferro, Rippo, Prezzo, and Lynda.
There you go.
And
A shame if we
Well,
get
that
members
goes for
called Pete.
Pito.
Yeah. That'd be an issue.
So let's see here.
But yeah, no, we have a bit of fun. We have a bit of fun.
It depends how much these boys annoy me, really. No.
I think any one of us, even if for whatever reason we didn't have a Cadillac, we'd still keep in touch. We always would be, because we're so close. It goes beyond the cars.
I think we just bibble along, don't we?
Yeah.
We all work together, don't we?
Yeah.
We've not had anyone cause any issues.
No.
have we? So.
No.
Go back out. Go back outside and enjoy the weather. All right, you guys, take it easy, okay?
Right. Cheers.
Thank you,
Mate.
sir.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.